Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV Bond. For the news first, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
IMF delegates to engage in talks with the opposition and will meet with the president tomorrow. 12 people injured following an accident in Vevaldania. Multiple factions oppose proposed legislation.
මෑත කාලයේ රජය ඉදිරිපත් කරන අතිශයින් භයානක පනත තමයි මේක.
හැම පැත්තකින්ම මර්ධනය කැඳවලා
NASA's first asteroid sample has landed, now secure in clean room. Sri Lanka and India women's cricket teams meet for gold medal game in the Asian Games.
On to those stories in detail. 12 people were injured following an accident involving two buses in the Thitwel-Mankad area in Radhavadunna along the Colombo to Kandy main road.
The accident had occurred around 3 a.m. today. Police noted a bus travelling from Valimada to Colombo had collided with a bus parked on the side of the road. The bus thereafter had crashed into a nearby shop, which resulted in serious damages to the shop. Police noted 12 people were injured following the accident and they were admitted to the Varakapola and Vatupitiwala hospitals. Police noted the cause of the accident is speeding.
Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe will meet with the International Monetary Fund delegation in Colombo tomorrow. This meeting will take place at the President's office and will mark the conclusion of the first review of the IMF program for Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka's state finance ministers and other officials are expected to attend this meeting. Sri Lankan officials engage in talks with a team from the International Monetary Fund from the 14th of September on the first review of the extended fund facility arrangement for Sri Lanka. At the same time, the Government Medical Officers Association is expected to meet with the IMF team in Colombo to discuss the country's tax reforms and other issues. In addition, the IMF team will also meet with the MPs from the Samagi Jana Balawegaya on Monday. State Finance Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya told News First that staff-level agreements can be reached with the IMF delegation.
The depreciation of the rupee is mainly attributed to the debt increase. In 2020, the US dollar was somewhere between 369 rupees and 370 rupees. If our debt was 100 USD, it has increased by twofold. We believe that the discussions will be fruitful because we did not utilize this properly for 16 times. We got stuck this time around. We are also discussing areas of concern with them.
The United Republic Front also expressed views regarding future discussions of the IMF.
Those who looted money when borrowing, when spending and even during debt repayments is now pointing fingers at others, saying they are responsible for this. With pride, they said they can even go without the IMF support. This month is very crucial. We need to come to an agreement on how the foreign debt will be paid. Only 6 more days, but we don't see any agreement yet. We may not be able to enter the second phase of the IMF program. So keep in mind, we are still in chaos.
දෙවෙනි පියවරට යන්න අපිට බැරි වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. ඒකින්දා මතක තියාගන්න අපි තාම ඉන්නේ මේ කබලේ බැදි බැදි ඉන්නේ.
The Freedom People's Congress alleges that the president's Western-aligned economic policies do not suit Sri Lanka.
Ranil Wickremesinghe looks into the economic policies of the government as if he's looking at Sri Lanka from Washington. In 3 to 4 weeks, the bill pertaining to restructuring of the CEB will be brought forward. They're going to make a historical mistake. CEB is going to be broken down into 16 categories. We can only decide to bat or bowl by assessing the weather. We are talking to Samagi Jana Balawegaya as well as Jatika Jana Balawegaya. Last week, we were engaged in discussions with the Communist Party. We will speak to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We have taken the responsibility of gathering all parties who are against the Ranil Rajapaksa regime.
Leader of the second-generation movement, Uvindu Vijayveer, emphasized that the trend of switching parties for advantages should be put to an end immediately.
මේ ලංකාවේ මේ මොහොතේ තියෙන පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ඇතුලේ
When we look at the leaders inside the parliament today, all of them have led the country within different time periods. If we want to see real change, we need to put an end to party politics. All of them have jumped from one party to another just to fill their pockets. That must end.
දෙමින් විවිධ කණ්ඩායම් වලට එකතු වෙමින් තමන්ගේ බඩගෝස්තරවාදය රැකගන්නා ජනතාවට කිසිම ආදරයක් නැති මේ පක්ෂ දේශපාලනයට තියන්න ඕනේ.
Kandy district leader of the United National Party, Shantini Khongahage, says all the parties must pledge support to the measures taken by the president to uplift the economy of the country. She made these remarks during the Gamata Handak Diriya Khatak program in Ambilipitiya.
We can only construct the Ratnapur highway if our leader holds productive discussions with the state leaders and representatives of the IMF and establishes confidence between us and the IMF. If not, we will have to forget about it. During the past year, based on the debt repaid and the way in which we have established trust with the IMF, our leader has managed it very well. Many acts have been implemented during this period of time. These are important matters. Our leader will not do anything without the agreement of the parliament, nor will he take away the power vested with the parliament. So we would like to inform the opposition not to pull down the economy again. We should come to an agreement with the parliament to support the decisions taken by the president.
Samantha Vidyaratna states that corruption in the country has accelerated and development has slowed down. He made these remarks while joining the Uvaparanagama Balamandala meeting of the Jatika Janabala Vegiya.
Corruption is rampant. Development is slow. Other countries in the world are developing. India recently sent a spacecraft to the moon, Chandrayaan 3. It cost India $75 million to do so. Our country sent a rocket too that was called Rohityan. How much did it cost? It cost $320 million. $75 million for India to send a spacecraft to the moon. $320 million for Sri Lanka's Rajapaksa's son. How is that? When the Rajapaksa government was voted in, sugar was 75 rupees per kilo. Now how much is a kilogram of sugar? It spiked to 300 rupees. Dal was priced at 65 rupees. Now it costs more than 300 rupees. Think about it. The can of salmon was 100 rupees. It jumped to 700 rupees. Egg prices also increased drastically. The prices of locally grown potato is, however, very low. The cost of imported products are high, but the prices of local produce is very low. That era is over. The era of the rise of the small man shall begin. Views were expressed regarding the gazetted anti-terrorism bill and the online safety bill. The country has been destroyed, and then when the people rise up against it, laws are brought to suppress the media. Now the culprit is the media. Why? The media is revealing these issues. They have now touched social media. Social media is very strong, so they are trying to suppress it. Not only that, under the guise of regulation, people are not allowed to take to the streets. People are not allowed to protest. The government is trying to suppress these by calling for repression from all sides. That's why we would like to say all these acts will have to end soon.
The All Ceylon Fishing Communities Trade Union Federation claimed the government is trying to suppress the people.
Why are they bringing these acts? We can imagine. Is it to suppress us? It affects everyone in this country. If we take to the streets to fight for our rights, this will create the necessary background to arrest us. Acts are brought to suppress the media. We are not toddlers. The people of this country are not stupid. We understand this very clearly because the bureaucrats, ministers and politicians of this government want to work together against the people of this country. Please do not oppress the people. All these rulers are incompetent. They've all failed. The Freedom People's Congress said that the government is bringing in new acts to suppress the opinions that are against the government.
මාර්ගගත ක්‍රම සුරක්ෂිත භාවය පිළිබඳ
The online safety bill. This is the most dangerous bill among those that were brought forward by the government in the recent past. The goal of this act is not a secret. The entire country knows it. The government is afraid of the people of this country, which is why they continue to postpone the election. Provincial council elections were postponed by 4.5 years. The election of the local governing bodies was to be held before 19th of March 2023. They did not hold any of this. The reason is that they know they will lose the elections, so they can't rule, and they understood that. However, there is a presidential election due next year. It cannot be postponed for any reason. In the next 355 days, the government must hold presidential elections, which is why they are bringing in all these acts, such as the anti-terrorism bill, act related to the security. These are brought forward to suppress the opinions that are anti-government.
කාලයක රජයට හිතකර නොවන මත මර්ධනය කිරීම සඳහා
The Health Ministry said that an investigation was launched following the deaths of twins who were being treated at the neonatal care unit of the Kalubowila Hospital.
The twins were born on the 9th of September and one of them passed away on the 18th, while the other died on the 23rd. According to the parents of the deceased twins, the hospital administration had ruled the cause of death of the child that died on the 18th of September to be respiratory difficulties. However, the parents have refused to accept it and filed a complaint with the hospital director and Sri Lanka police.
These
twins were born in the 31st week. It usually happens in the 40th week. The weight of these twins was less than normal. It was not possible to save them. The parents have filed complaints. They suspect that negligence took place when caring for these children. As per the directive of the Director General of Health Services, we will deploy a group to this hospital to investigate and reach a decision. Up next is Crime Watch.
Crime Watch.
Sri Lanka police is investigating a brutal assault on a retired banker. Police said that a man had entered the residence of the retired banker located on Moronthudua Waddua when no one was inside the premises and thereafter brutally assaulted the retired banker with a sharp weapon. Police said that the retired banker, who was previously employed with the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, was 77 years old. Neighbours had rushed the victim of the assault to the Panadura Base Hospital and thereafter he was transferred to the Colombo National Hospital for treatment.
Crime Watch.
A 34-year-old father of one was stabbed to death at the Maragaha Junction in Hungama. Police noted the killing was a result of a dispute between the victim and another individual. News First correspondent noted the remains of the victim currently lie at the Tangol Base Hospital. Police investigations are currently underway to arrest the suspect who stabbed the victim.
Crime Watch.
Shifting your attention to international news, President Emmanuel Macron has said France will withdraw its ambassador and end all military cooperation with Niger following a coup.
Macron said, quote, France has decided to withdraw its ambassador. In the next hours, our ambassador and several diplomats will return to France, unquote. He added that military cooperation was over and French troops would leave in the months to come. The military junta, which seized power in Niger in July, welcomed the move. There are about 1,500 French soldiers in the landlocked West African country. The decision by Paris follows months of animosity and protests against the French presence in the country, with regular demonstrations in the capital, Niamey.
Dusty samples from the most dangerous known rock in the solar system have been brought to Earth.
The American Space Agency NASA landed the materials in a capsule that came down in the west desert of Utah State. The samples had been scooped up from the surface of asteroid Bennu in 2020 by the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft. NASA wants to learn more about the mountainous object, not least because it has an outside chance of hitting our planet in the next 300 years. But more than this, the samples are likely to provide fresh insights into the formation of the solar system 4.6 billion years ago and possibly even how life got started on our world. There was jubilation when the OSIRIS-REx team caught sight of the capsule on long-range cameras.
Finally, in your sports news, Wales cruised into quarter-finals of the 2023 Rugby World Cup with a record win over Australia.
Australia's World Cup campaign has become their worst ever showing at the tournament following a 40-6 thrashing at the hands of Wales in Lyon. Wales became the first Rugby World Cup team to qualify for the quarter-finals while virtually shutting the door on Australia's hopes. The far more experienced Welsh won by expertly executing a low-risk, disciplined game plan and punishing Australian mistakes. Gareth Davis scored the first try, and second-half scores from Nick Tompkins and Jack Morgan were complemented by 23 points from the boot of Gareth Anscombe. Wales confirmed their place in the Rugby World Cup quarter-finals with a game in hand as they put a 40-6 scoreline past Australia in Lyon. Rugby fans can watch all the action of the 2023 Rugby World Cup on TV1, the official local broadcasting rights holder in Sri Lanka. As these games are mostly in the late evening, the games are recorded and repeated for Sri Lankan rugby fans who miss the action.
With gold medal in sight, India and Sri Lanka met in the finals of the Asian Games 2023 Women's Cricket Competition at Pingfeng Campus Cricket Field. In the semi-finals, both played yesterday. India and Sri Lanka beat Bangladesh and Pakistan respectively. India women won the toss and decided to bat first against Sri Lanka.
And that's the first wicket. Shafali Verma trying.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First crowd, the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanes, and you take care and have a nice day.